بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله وعلى آله وصحبه من تبع هداه. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. Welcome to the tafsir class. Today, inshallah, we will start with the issue of jihad. And we've reached ayah 190 of Surah Al-Baqarah, where Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, "And fight in the way of Allah those who fight you, but transgress not the limits. Truly Allah likes not the transgressors." And here's the ayah, you see it. This ayah was the first ayah to mandate jihad. After a long persecution for the Muslims in Mecca, after long torture, when they moved to Medina, then this ayah came, allowing for Muslims to fight back. That's why it says, fight in the way of Allah, those who fight you. So it implies that it is not for everyone. So again, Islam does not tell you, go outside and whoever you see, go and kill. This is very important because whenever you quote ayah from the Quran, you have to see the context of this ayah. That's very important because you cannot exclude the context from the ayah itself and say, this ayah means so and so. And this is more important nowadays when people are trying to misuse these ayat. We have two groups of people. Muslims who are misusing the ayat, and we have non-Muslims who are misinterpreting these ayat as well. So it is very important to realize that. The second ayah is a continuation for this, where it says, and kill them wherever you find them, and turn them out from where they have turned you out. So that's the ayah where many people quote and like about jihad. They say, look what Islam tells you. Kill them wherever you find them. Did Allah say this? Yes, He did. However, what's the context? The concept of jihad is really important. Now you have some groups of Muslims, because of what's going on, they said that jihad is not mandatory anymore, which is wrong. Jihad will remain as part of the religion, regardless of the mistakes. Having some people making some mistakes does not mean necessarily that jihad is wrong. Even at the time of the Messenger ﷺ, there were mistakes. Even at the time of the Messenger ﷺ. Khalid ibn al-Walid radiallahu anh, he killed people he was not supposed to kill them. It appeared that they were Muslims. So what did the Prophet ﷺ do? He paid the blood money. He apologized. He did not say, we will stop jihad. But he said, I disown myself from the action of Khalid. Not from Khalid, but from the action of Khalid, because what Khalid did was wrong. So there may be few mistakes, but that does not mean jihad is wrong. Jihad will remain until the day of judgment. That's what the Prophet ﷺ said. But what's the meaning of jihad? And that's another thing which is really important. Go to any book translated to English, and you will find the jihad, definition of jihad is what? Holy war. Do you know from where this came? This word, this term? Do you know that there is no such translation in Arabic? Read all the books written in Arabic. You will never find something called Harb Muqaddasa. That's the translation of holy war. Your actions cannot be holy. We don't attribute holiness to our actions. Do I have to pray? Yes, I pray. The prayer itself is holy. That's true. Jihad is holy because it came from Allah. But my actions cannot be holy. It could be correct and it could be wrong. So this term came from Christianity. They had this concept, but in Islam we don't have this concept. Jihad, what does it mean in Islam? The linguistic meaning of jihad is what? Struggle. That's the linguistic meaning. The religious meaning, struggle in the way of Allah. But here, when we talk about it in fiqh, when we discuss it in fiqh, and this will come with us inshallah, fighting the enemies in the cause of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That's the narrow meaning of jihad. There is a broader meaning. Any struggle could be jihad, and you will be rewarded for it. But in fiqh, when we discuss jihad, we say it is fighting the enemies in the cause of Allah. What's the highest level of jihad? What's the highest level of jihad? Yes? Being a martyr? No. What type of jihad is best? Being a martyr is a result. In a war? Do you have an evidence? Khalil, the Prophet ﷺ was asked, or he said, the best jihad is what? Did he say that? Yes. Yes, something like that. What is it? Online? Yeah. The greatest jihad, as the Prophet ﷺ said, saying the truth before an unjust ruler. This is very significant hadith. Why? Because it tells you that the purpose of Islam is not to kill people. It is to enforce justice. And that's why jihad was legislated, to enforce justice. That's the highest. The highest type of jihad you could participate in is saying the word of truth before an unjust ruler. And the best martyrs is the one who was killed by saying his truthful word before a just ruler, and he killed him. That's the type. But individuals, yes, the Prophet ﷺ mentioned that Hamza is the best martyr. Actually, he joined between both of them. He said, Sayyidu Shuhada Hamza. The master of the Shuhada is Hamza, and the man who stood up and he said the truth before an unjust ruler, and he was killed because of what he said. It is really important for you to understand these meanings, especially nowadays, when people are talking a lot about jihad. Again, back to our ayah, and kill them wherever you find them. So, what does it mean? Wherever we find anyone, any disbeliever, we kill them? Does it mean this? That's what it says, kill them wherever you find them. Kill them. Them. What does it mean, them? And you have in the ayah, and. So you have to go back. It's not fair to extract this ayah, to take it and then say, kill them wherever you find them. And. Exactly. So it is related to the previous ayah, those who fight you. And turn them out from where they have turned you out. Again, that's the justice. So it's talking about particular people, those who turned us out. We turned them out. And al-fitna. What's fitna? How it was translated? Tribulation. What type of tribulation? Because here, and tribulation is worse than killing. It doesn't make sense. Aftermath is worse than killing. That means jihad is bad because of jihad, that's what will happen. So it is worse. Yes? Shirk?
Oppression and persecution.
Oppression? Persecution. Disbelief. Persecution, not any persecution. Specific persecution. Because fitna, again, what's the meaning of fitna? It is derived from fatan. Fatan is to burn or to smelt the nugget, to purify it. So you are putting the nugget in fire. The same thing here. When you cause a believer to disbelieve. So the persecution to cause people to disbelieve, that is worse than killing. Why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is mentioning this? There are many lessons here. Al-fitna is worse than killing. Why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is mentioning this here? That's very important. Again, he wants to tell you why jihad is mandated, to stop people from disbelieving. Why? Because if they disbelieve, that's worse than killing. Now, if a Muslim land were to be invaded by kuffar, there was an occupation for a Muslim country. And in the last century, all Muslim lands, except for Mecca and Medina, were under occupation. If a disbelieving country occupied a Muslim country, what will happen? What's the worst could happen? Killing? Death? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is reminding you that even if you lost your life, that's not worse than losing your iman. So that's why jihad is mandated, so you preserve lives. This is one thing. The other thing, this is a response to the disbelievers who say, oh, you are killing us now. Well, did you forget what you did? You are causing people to disbelieve. That's another lesson. Another lesson also, which is very, very important, and the disbelievers nowadays, they understood it, is that occupying the mind, the thoughts, is more important than the physical occupation. And that's what the Western countries did. Now, we don't want to be physically there anymore. But what do? We change ideologies. We change the thoughts. And that's it. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is reminding us here that this is worse. So focus on what? Ideologies, thoughts. Again, this tells you that the purpose is not killing. Try to change the thoughts. This sentence is very important. And al-fitna is worse than killing. But again, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is telling the believers in Medina who were caused to leave Mecca, who were turned out from Mecca, that now they can fight them. They can fight those who fought them. And they can turn them out from where they were turned out. And fight not with them at the sacred masjid, unless they fight you there. So, scholars derived from this ayah a ruling, which is you cannot initiate the war in the sacred masjid. That's why it's sacred, because everybody should be safe. That's the meaning of sanctuary of the place there. No one fights. However, if they fought you, you fight them back, because that's justice. You don't wait until you get killed. You fight back. But if they attack you, then kill them. Again, now here is the thing. Some Muslims, they feel confused, or they cannot have a good answer if someone told them, how come you say Islam is a religion of peace and all these commands of killing in the Quran? What do you say? Why you are laughing? Yesterday, what did you answer? What did you answer? Ethics of fighting. Like? Very good. Very good, that's a good answer. Again, Islam taught us everything, including fighting. But to begin with, why you fight if your religion is a religion of peace? Fighting is a reality of humanity. It's very important to understand that when we say Islam is a religion of peace, what does peace mean? And why we fight? We fight to enforce peace. Islam is not a religion of humiliation. If it's a religion of humiliation, then yes. If they fight you, you just put your head down and you allow them and you turn the other cheek. No, that's not peace. That's humiliation. And Islam does not tell you to be this way. Look at the child. Look at the child. Imagine if you took something from a child and he was holding it, would he tell you, take it? Or he will try to take it from you? And he's a child. Why then he fights? That's the nature. Why? If I threw something like this, what you will do? What's the first thing? Try to move away. Or what? If it was too big that you cannot move, what do? You put your hands unconsciously. What is this? What is this? Self-defense. That's a natural reaction. It is natural. You cannot help it. Naturally, if you fall, what do you do? If you fall, don't you? What do you do? What do you put first? You put your hands. Why? You want to protect yourself. You want to eliminate, to reduce the injuries.
Allah says to look into yourself. When a virus comes to you, what happens?
The body fights back. The immune system. So that's the nature. Why you condemn self-defense for Muslims while it is natural thing? Why you condemn killing someone who killed you while if it comes to any other aspect of the life, there's no problem?
We got to look at the history also.
All secular laws, all of them, no exception. They have a self-defense statute. Now, if you kill someone and it was self-defense, will you be punished? Why? It is self-defense. But unfortunately, when it comes to Islam, they say, no, that's not a religion of peace. That's peace. That's the peace. So it's really important to understand the ayat and then to reply to people. But you cannot answer them if you did not understand really. Again, if you feel embarrassed or you feel, oh, that's too much, then it is a problem. You are already defeated. You have to understand. You have to read. So Allah is commanding us that we cannot fight them in the sacred house unless they fought us there. But if they attack you, then kill them. Islam does not tell you, yeah, wait until they attack you until you get killed. No, kill them. Such is the recompense of the disbelievers. They fight you, you fight them. But if they cease, again, look at Allah's mercy. If they cease, then Allah is oft forgiving, most merciful. After all what they did, if they cease, after all what they did, they fought you, they turned you out, they killed some people, yet the forgiveness is there, if they cease. That's the mercy of Islam. And that's the peaceful religion. Because in any other law, they tell you, no, you won't be forgiven. If someone killed a person, after 10 years, he came and he said, I changed. And he was really changed. Would the law release him? Would he be acquitted? Or he will be punished for the crime that he did? In any law, he will be punished. But in Islam, he is forgiven. And fight them until there is no more fitna. Again, very important ayah, 193. It tells you what's the purpose of jihad. Now again, what's the purpose of jihad in Islam? Why Islam allowed jihad? That's the reason. Fight them until there is no more fitna. Islam wants to ensure that people are not driven away from the religion. No one is allowed to cause people to change Islam. We want to ensure justice. Let people choose. Because what used to happen? Whoever was a Muslim, he was killed. For nothing, just because he was Muslim. وَمَا نَقَمُوا مِنْهُمْ إِلَّا أَن يُؤْمِنُوا. And fight them until there is no more fitna. And the religion is for Allah. That's the purpose of jihad in Islam. Again, but if they cease, let there be no transgression except against the wrongdoers. Again, this is justice. Islam does not tell you, oh, if they killed, then kill, and whatever they say, you tell them this is casualty of war. Remember the incident where the people of Banu Amir, they killed the companions of the Messenger ﷺ, and 2 of them were killed. The Prophet ﷺ did not say, oh, those are only 2 and they are casualties of war. He said they had protection from me and I will pay their blood money. So there is no transgression in Islam at all. No matter, even if they did injustice to us, we won't be unjust to them. That's what Islam tells us. And these are the meanings that it's our responsibility to convey to people nowadays. Then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, the sacred month is for the sacred month. And for the prohibited things, there is the law of equality. Now why is this? And what is similar to this ayah? Which we have even in the Bible. Similar meaning to this ayah. The law of equality. Yeah. Eye for an eye, tooth for a tooth, right? Have you seen the bumper sticker? If an eye for an eye, half the world will be blind. Did you see that? What do you think of it? If someone came and said, why an eye for an eye? Why don't you be forgiven? What do you think? Isn't it better to be forgiving? Yes, it is better. So why an eye for an eye? Justice. Yeah, so you say your religion is better. So why it is not going to that level, the level of ihsan? Here's the thing. Yes. Go ahead. Exactly. Who owns the religion? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. When it comes to me and you, yes. That's justice, an eye for an eye. I want I want justice. I want to bring you to justice. You did something to me, I want to bring to justice. But if I choose to forgive, that's fine, and that's what Islam encourages. But when it comes to the religion, when other people's rights, you have to be just. You don't have the right or the option to forgive.
Is that up to the one who was hurt?
Yeah, exactly. So again, that's why Islam tells you there is a law of equality. That's justice. You want to go for the next level? That's fine. But when it comes to personal, individual rights, not when it comes to the religion. This is one thing. The other thing, the one who says, why don't you forgive? Right? If he was in that situation, would he forgive? Why you focus on the punishment, but you don't focus on the action, the crime itself? That's really important, because people are doing injustice by only focusing on one aspect, one side. Nowadays they say capital murder, the capital punishment is barbaric, it is not just. Well, what happened to the victim? You forgot about the victim. We lost a life there. And now, by punishing, we are ensuring that no one would think of killing because he will be killed. But nowadays they focus only on the criminal. So where is justice? That's why Islam tells you there is the law of equality. Then whoever transgresses against you, you transgress likewise against him. What does it mean? Whoever transgresses against you, you transgress likewise. What does it mean? If someone took from you 50, can you go and say he transgressed, so I will transgress and I will get 100? Can you take 100? Because he transgressed already and he was the one who started it. Why not? That's what the ayah says. You transgress likewise.
You take from him, even if it's force. You take back what is right.
Again, the word likewise, what does it mean? It necessitates that you don't go beyond what he transgressed. And when you do the same as what they did to you, is this transgression? Is it really transgression? No? When the judge sentenced the criminal to death, is this transgression? If he killed someone, if that's criminal, then why here in the ayah it is called transgression? Again, it's really important. It's not really transgression. He's the one who transgressed, but you did not. You are only punishing. And this is what they call similarity in terms. But in reality, they are not the same. He transgressed. You did not transgress. You punished the same way he did. فَاعْتَدُوا عَلَيْهِ بِمِثْلِ مَا اعْتَدَى عَلَيْهِ. And fear Allah. And look at this, subhanallah. Fear Allah here tells you, do not overreact. Do not lose your control over yourself. Do not say that they did this, they did do this, and they did that, and so because of that I will transgress. No, fear Allah. And know that Allah is with the righteous. You don't find these teachings in any other religion. Actually, you find the opposite. Burn the land. Kill every breathing, every living soul. Do this and do that. Yeah, I mean, even in the Bible, in the book of Numbers, it says that kill every man and woman and child, except for virgins. Keep them for your pleasure. They have these texts. Yet, they attack Muslims. So you have to be able. But first you need to read our religion, and then you see what they have. When Christianity turned the other cheek? When? It never happened. People around the world were persecuted by the church, the Inquisition courts, the Crusaders, and so on and so forth. In Europe, when it was allowed to have another religion other than Christianity, not only other than Christianity, other than being Catholic, how many battles were between the Protestants and Catholics? Yet after all these things, they come and say, look at your religion. The next ayah, ayah 195, and spend in the cause of Allah. وَأَنْفِقُوا فِي سَبِيلِ اللَّهِ وَلَا تُلْقُوا بِأَيْدِيكُمْ إِلَى التَّهْلُكَةِ. And do not throw yourselves into destruction. And do good. Truly Allah loves those who do good. وَأَنْفِقُوا فِي سَبِيلِ اللَّهِ وَلَا تُلْقُوا بِأَيْدِيكُمْ إِلَى التَّهْلُكَةِ وَأَحْسِنُوا إِنَّ اللَّهَ يُحِبُّ الْمُحْسِنِينَ. What's the relation between this ayah and the topic of jihad? Notice that we're talking about jihad, right? So now this ayah comes straight afterwards. Why?
To have a jihad, to have Muslims who want to fight, there must be some financial support.
Yes, that's one of the reasons. You cannot have jihad without spending money. That's very important. And that's why you notice every ayah where Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentions jihad and fight in the cause of Allah with what? With your money and your souls and yourselves. Allah starts with the money first because it's really important. What else? Okay, let's say that spending money is needed in jihad. But what this has to do with destruction? And do not throw yourselves into destruction. What the ayah is talking about here? How? If we don't spend, then we will be thrown into destruction?
Yeah, fitna will spread in the land. If we don't have jihad.
Khalil? Think before you act. Again, spend in the cause of Allah and do not throw yourselves into destruction. This ayah means that if we don't spend, we will be destroyed. So this ayah gives you the importance of charity. What do you think?
If we don't spend on jihad, then fitna will spread in the land. Right?
If we don't spend in jihad.
Because the purpose of jihad, we just covered the purpose of jihad is to eradicate the fitna.
Yes, it's very important. Here comes the reasons of revelation. There is a story behind this ayah. In one of the battles, one of the Muslims jumped over the walls of the Romans. So people started saying he threw himself into destruction. Why? Because he caused himself to die, just like committing suicide. Abu Ayyub al-Ansari radiallahu anhu was with them. He told them that's not the meaning of this ayah. This ayah was revealed because of us. So now you know the reasons of revelation are really important. So what's the story behind this? Abu Ayyub radiallahu anhu said, we used to fight with the Messenger of Allah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and consequently we ignored our properties. And then we said, after we fought with the Messenger of Allah, we said, and after Islam prevailed, we said, now it is time for us to take care of our properties, our things. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala sent down this ayah to tell us that spending in the cause of Allah should be always. And turning away from jihad is what? Is destruction. That's the meaning of this ayah. So here it's not talking about spending money, any money. It is talking about jihad. So still the ayah is connected to the previous ayah, to the jihad. Do not throw yourself into destruction. And subhanAllah, look at Muslims nowadays. Whenever we don't have jihad, there is destruction. Imagine if jihad was strong. What will happen in the world? People will live in peace. I guarantee this. People live in peace. But people in destruction, and especially Muslims, because they abandoned jihad. And again, when we talk about jihad, the true jihad, not killing everybody. Actually, jihad is building process. It's not a destruction process. You don't destroy people. You don't kill people. Actually, you build people. You free people. You don't enslave. That's what Rabi' ibn Amr radiallahu anh said when he told the Persian leader. He asked him, what brought you here? He said, we came to free people from the slavery of people to the slavery of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So that's the message of jihad. So again, turning away from jihad is destruction. And do good. That's what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala tells us. Do good. Do good here is broad. So it could mean that spend extra in the jihad and in other causes. Do not only wait for what you are requested to pay.